How are you doing today, Jasmine? Let me stop playing.
Shit just got real, things are getting intense now. I hear you talking about we a lot. Oh,
Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome back, Ghouls and Graz. Thank you for tuning back into part 3 of the situationship from hell. I feel like the last video was I was real down in the dumps. It was giving very much it's raining outside. So we back and we better. I had to get myself together. I'm like, girl, you going out real sad. You going out real sad. Where's the laughter? Where's the jokes? It's giving serious. Like, So anyway, thank you for tuning back into part 3. I'm sorry that it's taking too long to get to this part. But grab your snacks, grab your drink, grab your favorite blanket, and let's finish this story time out because yeah. Okay, so I left off at the spot where it was where was I at, you? Okay, I was at the part where I was sitting over there looking crazy, crying over a man that's not mine. Don't be like me. I was looking real Mariah-ish. City Girls was down 10,000 points. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. But we back up. So basically, I was sitting over there. It wasn't the principle of the fact that he said, "Oh, it's disrespectful to her." I understand that part because I'm like, well, he don't want me. I ain't gonna sit there and try to force somebody to be with me. Like what? Cry. Anyway, so after he said that, I was like, it wasn't even that. It was basically the point. Like why didn't you tell me this November? It's like, what? Like, it would have really saved me the trouble because I'm like, all right, well, now that I know there's another person in the picture, I'm cool off you. Like, it wasn't that serious. Like, oh, it was a cute little crush, but everybody has a crush every single day. Like, I have a crush on Michael B. Jordan, and you don't see me outside every time he running around with another person because, like, crushes come and go, but God stays forever. So, let me stop playing. No, that's a true statement. If you're a part of the Christian community, if you're not, then Anyway, back to what I was saying. So he was like, okay, and I was like, okay, whatever. And that's what I want to make everything clear. I wasn't sad in the fact that he chose somebody that wasn't me. That's not what I was mad about. I was mad and sad at the point is like you dragged the whole situation when you could have cut it and ended there in November. You could have saved me so much trouble, but you wanted to go through all this because you're like, I want her feelings. I'd rather you hurt my feelings every day of my life than to ever pretend like you ever wanted to be with me. Let's start there. It never gave desperate. Maybe 2 years ago, but now it never gave desperate. Back then, when I was sitting there crying at the table, it never gave desperate. It gave very much. I'm not gonna lie, I was giving desperate. And the reason I said I was giving desperate because then I started to be like, I'm gonna tell you what So basically, I was like, I'm sitting over there. I'm in love with you and you don't want to be with me. And you chose her. And then I started being like, go to her. Like, bro, when I tell you, I gave such a Kenny and Janae moment type, Serena type moment. It was giving Love Island in that room, okay? It was go be with her. No, don't cut. No, go to her. I'm good, my G. I'm good. And so he basically says that, and I go in and I'm like, so I'm sitting there crying and I'm upset because I'm like, dang, like I really thought I was gonna get chosen this time. At that time, I was really also dealing with bad like self-esteem issues. Like for some reason, I was so pressed to have a man. Why? That's just another bill. Like that's just a whole nother headache in itself. You don't need that energy, and I did not need that at the time anyway. So when that happened, I was like, man, it always happened to me. I always get so close or feel like I'm so close, and it always goes in and wrong, and it's like I'm so tired of always being put in situations where people only want to use me for whatever they need, or just to look, or just I'm just tired of it. And that's where that actually stemmed out of frustration, and it made me like upset because it's like, dang, like I could never have someone that's solid and that's about me. But at that time, I had to realize he wasn't my person. Like, I don't feel like God wouldn't make it that hard for me if he was my person, because it seemed like we had a toxic thing. We would block each other, unblock each other, and that's toxic. And I really feel like he was never my person. He was just a person. So yeah. So back to what I was saying. So he was like, "Oh, what would a relationship even look like?" I'm sorry I'm laughing, but this took me out. This took me clean out because I looked at him like, really? Nah. Mm-mm. So basically, he was like, "What a relationship would I was looking, what I was gonna look like?" I said, "I would be there for you. I'll be emotionally supportive. I would definitely be on your side. Like you will always have someone that you can have. Like basically, I was basically telling him like, it comes with the full package. Like I would be there for you mentally, emotionally. Um, of course, God would be in the center of our relationship of 100%. Definitely moving into this and everything. That's basically who I am, and just basically saying like I can like be with you, like I'll have your back. Basically, whatever the girlfriend is supposed to do, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what a relationship would look like. This man states, and I quote, he said, I gotta put on my voice. Yeah, I don't really need that. You don't want somebody that's gonna be there for you emotionally? I said, huh? I had to look at him. I'm like, yeah, nah, bro. Just tell me you don't want me to go up and go about my day. You're weird. Huh? You don't want nobody that cares about? Okay. I said, okay. That's when I backed up. I said, yeah, no, bro. I said, whatever she could do for you. I'm like, and then I had to come to a conclusion that I was like, yeah, no, you just don't want me. And that's fine. Like, it never gave. It never gave. So when I was like, okay, whatever, cool. I'm over there like, and then I had to think to myself, why is you begging for this man? He not even cute. I'm sorry. I'm just embarrassed. Like, I'm sorry. Think about this now. I'm just so embarrassed because what made me even think that? Like, that's just embarrassing. Like, I cringe. Like, telling this story is low key making me cringe a little bit. So, um, so basically, I'm like, whatever she can provide you, that's cool. I didn't know what he was talking about. He started talking about, oh, because she's more traditional and I don't know what that even means. I didn't know. I didn't understand. After that, I low key kind of clocked out because that one thing just really sat with me, and I'm like, something wrong with you. But I ain't no therapist and I ain't no psychiatrist, so I'm not gonna sit there and diagnose you. I'm not a doctor, so I was like, okay, whatever. And then he's like tradition. I'm like, okay, well maybe yeah, maybe you should be with her. You seem like you on this whole entire kick path. You maybe that's something that you need in that moment, and I can't give you that. And I told him that. I'm not 100% who I can't be that. I can't be that person that you want. I cannot do that because I'm still trying to find myself and figure myself out. And I'm not going to sit there and put myself through no mental stress when it comes to you. Because who are you? Wait a minute, bro. You are not the Kool-Aid man. I don't know you. Like, now that I think about it, I don't really know him as like a person. I only know this facade and this thing he used to put on in front of me. I don't know how he is really. Maybe he's always been a manipulative, evil person. I don't know. Maybe it's short man syndrome. I don't know. He wasn't short, y'all. He was like 5'10", 5'11". He looked like he was 5'9". Everyone used to be like, Nakai, he lying about his height. He about a good 5'8". He is lying to you. He is not tall. So I don't know how tall he is. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. He leaves. Oh, okay. So we're at the part where, okay, so after that, he like, I can't live without you. And hold on. I got I only trust a couple of people on this campus. I'll just do it, y'all. And you're one of the other people that I trust with my life. And I'm going through so much. And you won't understand. This man goes into this whole victim stage of why my feelings are valid. I told you you hurt my feelings, and it was because you dragged it. Like, I didn't care if you want to be with her, cool, that's whatever. I just hate that you dragged the situation on how I felt. And he was like, and he basically knew that. And he was like, and like, I don't got nobody else here. I only got y'all two. Mind you, he hangs out with a group of people, so he obviously something wrong with him. Like, he just lies to himself. I think every time he lies, he has to believe the lies that he tell. So he got to put on this whole entire facade and be like, okay, I really got to sell it. So I got to believe what I'm lying about. So when people hear it, it makes sense to them. So I really be thinking, because he's a smart person. He's a very smart person. So, like, it's easy to. Okay. All I'm gonna say is he knew the love that I have for him. So, like, he basically took advantage of the love that I have for him. And he was like, okay, well, like people say, you give a person one lemon and all of a sudden they got multiple, they got to stretch that lemon for like a good 6 to 3 weeks. That's what he did. Like, he made sure he got every drop out of that lemon. He was like, I'm gonna squeeze the lemon one time and see what happens. Okay, that's only what happens when you do it one time. Now let me do it 200 times and then times that by 16 million until I ain't got nothing left. And then I'm gonna throw the orange in the trash because it's, what I say, orange. I'm gonna throw the lemon in the trash out either way. So so that's basically what he did. So while he playing the victim, I'm sitting over there like, what you mean you don't want nobody that's gonna be there for you emotionally? That's the one thing that kept playing in my head. I'm like, what? So after he do this whole facade of playing the victim and basically crying and basically saying he got so much stuff going on, like I wasn't fighting my own demons. Like, I hear you. I hear you. Why are you crying? Why are you telling me this? This has nothing to do with the conversation. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, I cared, but at the same time, I did not care because all I did was say, maybe that's what you need. And then all of a sudden it's, I don't want to lose you. All because I said that I will not be friends with you while you're with her, because it's disrespectful to not only me, because you know how I felt about you and now you know how I feel, and feelings just don't die in a day like how they do for you. For me, because I actually am a caring person and I don't lie about that, it's going to take me a while, to get over that situation and and those feelings shall pass. So while I'm going through this, I'm like, okay, he's sitting over there crying. Like, when I tell you this man put on a whole entire facade, I'm like, he is one of the best actors I've ever seen. Because as soon as this whole entire situation happened, those rose-colored glasses fell off my eyes, like my actual glasses. Like, I saw straight through this person. I'm like, oh, he really is manipulative. That's insane. I've never met a real life narcissist. And then boom, here you are. Um, so basically after he cries and everything and plays the victim, and basically I tell him no. I told this man no. He starts playing the victim and crying about a whole different topic because that's what he loves to do, is throw a bunch of just, I care about you. This is what I'm going through. You won't understand. Maybe you will understand, while crying. And then he goes about his life and his day like it didn't happen. And in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I just played her again. She don't even know it. I'm leaving there. This looks like I gotta go my own way. It was giving that real bad. Um, it was giving very much. I was sitting over there like Camp Rock when they found out that they that they lost Final Jam. Just that's basically how I was. Like, that's what it was giving. It was giving a whole Disney Channel moment, honestly. And then it was me walking home in the rain, y'all. Like, when I tell you, I felt every It was giving a Disney Channel like movie. It was giving it's over by the Cheetah Girls real big in the rain. So not only is it raining, y'all tell me why my umbrella broke. So like I was bad. I was on the phone crying. I was sad. My umbrella was folded under pressure. I was going through it. And I was like, what? And I was just, and then I got more sad because the umbrella broke. So I was done. I was over it. I ain't want no more parts. I was done. So after me crying and having this whole montage, I decided to move. So basically, time goes on. We're gonna jump fast forward. I'm ignoring him. He's sitting over there acting like we cool or whatever. It was getting very much, don't talk to me. Don't act shocked. Don't talk to me. Like, what? Huh? Don't act shocked. What am I talking to you for? We not cool. We not cool. It was giving very much, he was giving very much, hi, how are you doing today, Jasmine? Why? You did this for what? Why not? For what? And I'm over here like, don't talk to me. Like, clutching my purse, like clutching my pearls, clutching my purse, like very much back up. So he's sitting there and I'm over there giving him one or answers, giving him the side eye because don't talk to me. I'm not a talkative person. I don't want to speak to you right now. And during that time, I was like, okay, whatever, cool, whatever. So let's jump in to me telling him how I felt. So basically, I wrote this whole entire poem. I wrote a poem, y'all. I wrote a poem so long. And I don't have the poem anymore, but I try to save as much screenshots as I did because I filmed this. I don't know if I said it in the other video, but I filmed this video before, or at least tried to film this video before. And basically, he watched it and he made me delete it off my iPad, and then made me go to my recently deleted to make sure it was completely deleted, so that nobody would know how he really is as a person. Because self-reflection is a terrible thing to someone who doesn't like anybody telling them about themselves. So let me see if I can go to the thing because I sent it. Okay, so let me ooh, it's getting very much big-headed right now. So I basically told him like, you manipulated me, this is how I felt, I feel like you played me and all this stuff. And as the victim he likes to be, I'm gonna tell you what the victim said, and I quote, and I'm gonna say it in his voice. Like, I'm gonna be serious. I'm gonna say it in his voice. I gotta say the because I'll leave it at this. I apologize that I hurt you because I never wanted to see you hurt. That's a lie. You ain't care if I get hurt either way, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, I don't care if you hurt me or not. I've been hurt before. I scraped my knee. I fell off a bike. I've been hurt before. He said, I never wanted to see you hurt. I don't believe that. I don't think that you could actually have compassion for people. Or I don't think he could have. But he might. I don't know. He's a very strange human. Maybe. I don't know. But I was forthcoming from the jump about everything. As you can see a couple minutes back, he did not, in fact, be very forthcoming with that. He contradicts himself a lot in here. He also says, I never played you. You play with my feelings, my emotion, my time. One thing that I don't like is when people play on my timing. Why would you play with my time? I could have been pursuing somebody else in November and you dragged it to February. If you watch part 1 and part 2, you'll understand why I'm a little irritated in part 3. And everything that I said about how I felt was true. Was it though? I don't know, because like, I don't know. Maybe he was, maybe it was. I don't really know. I don't trust. After you lied to me and basically make me feel like I went crazy or something, I no longer trust you. So I don't believe anything that you're saying. I believe it was all a lie, and I felt like he wanted one thing and he couldn't get it out the queen. And then that's when he had to give up. And then he says, do what you feel is necessary. And I wish you nothing but the best either way. Right? And then he gets into his feelings because nobody likes to be called what they are and be read as who they are. So he then goes to say, but don't misconstrue the situation like I did you dirty, even though I could have done some things better. I, for the most part, held you down. One thing about him, he loved I statements. I ask why. Why after why asks why. He love a good I statement, y'all. One thing he gonna do is talk about himself, even in an even in an apology. He always gonna talk about himself because he loves talking about himself, even when it has nothing to do with him. Because one thing about him, he can never apologize. He can't really say, "I'm sorry, I did this to you, and this happened, and this." It always has to be, "I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings." But it's always a but with him. It's never a sincere apology. It's always he got to prove how he was right in the situation to make himself feel better about himself because he doesn't believe he can be an evil person and be a manipulator. Um, so he's gonna try to use reverse psychology and manipulate the situation to make you look like you're the bad person because he can't stand being a bad person. But don't misconstrue the situation like I did you dirty. He said I could have done some things better. You could have done a lot better. And the first thing you could have done better, and it was the first thing you could have done. When you said you didn't want to be with me, you could have left me alone. I could have sworn I asked you to leave me alone. I think I did ask him to leave me alone. If you don't want me, just leave me alone. Like, why entertain the situation? My bad. Why started, instigated, and then manipulated? And then he says, for the most part, he held me down. If you mean holding me physically down and kicking me while I was at my lowest point, then you did an amazing job. He did an amazing job at holding me down. When I say hold me down, I don't mean held me down like a good neighbor State Farm is there. I'm talking about it very much, I'm on the ground and you're just kicking me in my side and in my stomach, if that's what you mean. And then he goes to say, whether you viewed me favorable or not, I don't really care. We know you don't really care. We've seen part 1 and part 2 how much you care. You see what I mean? Like, he said, because I know I try my best to help you. If you mean help me by embarrassing me, having everyone laughing at me, everyone having side conversations about me when I'm not in the room because you talk about me like a dog to your friends, and then you end up telling me that you actually made a whole entire joke about me that seemed to actually come true, that came true. If that's what you mean by helping me and holding me down, I don't think you did a great job. If anything, I think you did opposite. I think that you held me back and did not help me, but made the situations worse. Basically, I wanted to be more religious, and because he thinks that he is holier than thou, he was like, I don't want to say he was on a God kick, but he was on one of those, I'm more into my faith than you are, so I'm going to help you as much as I can by doing exactly the opposite, because I think I'm better than everybody who is Christian. That's who he is. But that first little line you put, because I said he a manipulator and a narcissist. And then he said, I'm sorry, because he's so sassy. That first little line, like, bruh, stop, okay? Stop. Convey me to how poorly you read the situation. I didn't read the situation poorly. You did play me. I'm not hurt that you wanted to be with her. All props to her. I was just irritated at the fact that you didn't tell me this November, because you could have saved me a lot of time and you wasted my time. But because when I said that and I was in such a bad, I was already going through depression. I was already in a sad state of mind, and that made it even worse. I didn't tell you I was really, really mad because he thinks that I'm mad that he chose her. No, I'm not mad about that. I'm mad that you waited this long to tell me this information and then took me to the church that you both go to. And she saw us together after you told her I'm in the past. And it wasn't true. So not only did you lie, but you lied to her and me at the same time. You lied to me by not saying anything, and you lied to her by telling her I was in the past when I showed up in the present. And here we are in the future. So let me shut up. So he said, whether it because of her or honest delusion or misalignment, I don't think you can make up I don't think I was delusional. Now let me say, I can be delusional, but I'm one of those people that's aware. Like, I ain't stupid. I don't make things up. I don't create a whole entire fantasy scene when I'm drunk and tell somebody that I want to be with them. And then puts it in a setting of where you say that you want to actually be with me and you want to come home to me at night. I didn't make that up. You did. Sorry, I was talking too much. He says, all I pray is that you truly have your soul right with God. This is when he starts to get into this whole entire, I want to be a deacon, I want to be a pastor talk. Even though and then he tells me in the future, from this conversation, that he no longer wants to pursue that anymore. And I'm not slamming anybody who wants to be a deacon or a pastor, but it's like, then he goes into this whole kick of saying basically like, I pray that you're right with God and you grow in him, and in peace and discernment will pervade your mind and heart for your better judgment. He basically made a whole entire chat GPT type of post and was like, make this business casual. He said, I want you to write, I put all my feelings in here, now I want you to make it business casual and add a quick few of big words to make it seem like I'm bigger than the program. Sweetheart, you can't be bigger than a program that I am. I am the program. You were just a little piece of it. You were never bigger than the program. It was my program, so sweetheart, you were never bigger than it. Never bigger. And then he goes into this whole entire thing, and I basically told him, like, I put my confidence, I put my self-worth, my self-esteem in your hands, and I should never done that, which I did, because there's been many times where I've wanted to tell him about himself, and I held back. I held back the type of person I was because I knew the type of person he is. And when I'm in love with a person, I see how much I hold back my actual self to please someone else, and I will never do that again. If you can't take criticism, sweetheart, maybe you shouldn't be in your field of study. Take notes. I'm just saying. And then he goes and he ends it with God bless. And that's how I know I hurt that man's feelings, because he had to put God bless. When somebody says God bless, you hurt their feelings. So I hurt his little feelings. And that's basically what we started laughing. When I tell you, we was reading that and we was laughing in the FaceTime call because he contradicted himself so much. And it's crazy because my friends have actually been on my iPad when he's calling, because the stuff that I tell them, they didn't actually believe some of this stuff. And then when I finally got one of my friends on the phone and they actually heard the conversation we had, that's when she knew that I was not making that up. She knew what was going on. So after he tried to act all holier than thou, like he don't do nothing wrong, and he's a victim in the situation, and he didn't do me dirty, when y'all all seen in part 1 and part 2 how he treated me up till now. He stopped talking for a while. Y'all making this an hour long, 45-minute video. I don't know if I want to do a part 4. Well, we just gonna keep rolling with the punches. So after he does all that, we move into like April. April's when it like starts to like all come together for our schooling, and we're low-key finishing it up. So I help him with his midterm, and we're gonna get into that situation. So we going around, not the midterm, the final. We get to the study room or whatever. We're actually studying, and then we stop, and then after our study session, we have a brief pause, and he's still complimenting me, and I think that he just missed torturing me So like he was enjoying it because he finally got to do what he's been missing out on. Basically messing with my head. Like, he likes to throw things at me and play mind games. And he was basically like, I missed you. No, you missed playing on my feelings and you missed playing on my emotions. He just missed me in a sense, but I don't understand. Maybe he missed my energy so he can absorb it for his evil plan. He was like Dr. Doofenshmirtz, like Evil Incorporated, y'all. After hours. So, so, so basically, after that, we get into a conversation. He starts telling me that he feels like his relationship is going bad and they're not aligned with each other, and he's trying to do this and she's making him look bad and this, and I ignore it, and I'm not gonna speak more about that because that's their problems in their relationship, and I personally didn't care, and I didn't want to hear that because at that same time I was still going through it. And I was like, don't tell me what's going on between y'all two. That should stay between y'all two. Don't add me in that situation. I want no parts. So I just basically shut up, and I just tell him how I feel. Then he goes into how he feels like his life is going and how he has all this pressure on him. The same conversation we had at that table when I told y'all that he hurt my feelings, and instead of giving me a sincere apology, he just continued to talk about how he's the victim in the situation. Yeah, that's basically what happened again. And I'm over there like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. At that point, I'm mentally and emotionally checked out. My depression's at an all-time high. My anxiety is through the roof the entire time. I could not handle it. I could have broke down at any moment. Then this fool proceeds to tell me, I really loved you. That's what he said. He said that. And because I want to leave this here, like I want to leave what happened in April here, I will tell you guys what happened in the future, present till now, till August. In May, I called this man, and I couldn't believe he said that he loved me. Because I've never heard anybody ever tell me that. That wasn't a part of my family or my friends. And I just was like, what did you mean by that? And then he proceeds to tell me, oh, I never said that I loved you. Personally, I did not say that to you. I said it for me. I never said that for you. I didn't care about how you took it. I just had to say that out loud for me. Why didn't you just keep it to yourself? It's giving very much, why you ain't eat the sandwich cold? Why you put the sandwich in the microwave? You should have ate it cold. Like, you could have saved time. Why didn't you tell me that? Keep that to yourself. Like, so after he said that, I was real cool off, dude. I said, I'm done. Like, you're weird. Like, you just be doing stuff just to irritate me at this point. Like, he said that, I said that, the only reason I said that I love you, I loved you, or however he said it, I just said that for me, not for you. You could have kept that to, you could have wrote that in a notebook and kept it to yourself. You did not have to tell me that. So I'm like, okay, you weird. Get away from me. Because I asked him for a favor involving a project I had to. He ends up being in a situation. I was like, as my Christian duty, I was like, I'm gonna be there, not for him completely, but just to see if he's okay, because I'm an actual caring person. When I say I actually care about somebody, I don't actually just say it because I think it sounds good to say, so I can make myself look like this high class human being and this caring person when I'm not. I can't fake the funk. He can. That's why he's good at what he does. Like I said, y'all, he's a very good actress. I think he should have pursued acting for his major and not something completely else. So he puts on this whole facade, y'all, this whole facade. So basically, I'm checking on him because I'm an actual caring person. And he's responding, whatever, cool, whatever. We stop talking. I get into a fender bender. He's there for me through that situation too. So it's cool. So now I feel like we starting to have a trauma bond. And I feel like that's how I really started. It really gave trauma bond. Like, I felt like at this time, I felt like he was what people I would call a it's a soulmate. At first I thought he was like a soul thing, a soul tie, because everyone used to always tell me, what does this man have over you that you can't leave him alone? And I realized it wasn't a soul tie. It was a manipulation tactic that he would use to keep me where he wanted me until he was ready to deal with me. That's what it was. It was a manipulation tactic that he would use to draw me in and keep me there. He kept me in that situation with manipulation. Basically, he knew how to do it. He knew exactly when to do it, how to do it, at what time, what place. And every time he was ready or he was done with someone, he could come back to me. That's basically what it was. He was like, I hate this girl so much that I will come running to her every single time because, like the dumb bee she is, she always gonna take me back. And I refuse. I knew his game so well that I start to catch on. And everyone kept putting me on. And I knew it at a point in time, but I wanted to feel loved so bad that I was really running towards the manipulation just to have 5 minutes of satisfaction of feeling loved from a person that does not love me. And this is a message to any girl. Do not settle for 5 minutes of love when you could find, when that love can find you and keep you forever. Want eternal love. Do not want temporary love, because temporary love will put you in situations that you could have avoided. Right now I'm running towards eternal love, and I found that eternal love in my religion. I found that. I would never go back to the ghetto. I would never go back to temporary love. I'd rather be heartbroken, sad, and lonely. I'd rather be sad and lonely than to be miserable chasing after 5 minutes of love. That's not even love. Lust. He lusted over me so bad, it was terrible. He did not actually care about me nor love me. He loved the thought of being with me. He loved the thought of me. He was in love with that part. He was in love with the thought of not actually having me. That man could not love all of me because he hated all of me. He loved certain parts. He loved my heart, and he loved oof. I think he just loved my heart and my energy. That's all he actually loved, because he could never fully love me as myself. And the reason I said that is because I asked him, I told him, why didn't we become a thing? And then he proceeds to tell me the reason we could never be together is because I hate your character. Verbatim. I wish I could make it up. He says the only reason me and you could never be together is because of your character. He hates the parts that I am. He hates my anxiety. He hates my depression. Now, I'm not going to say my depression. He hates my anxiety, because my anxiety makes him anxious. That's the one thing he hated about my personality. He hated basically who I was. And because he could never accept all of me, he can never truly love any of me. And that's one thing I will also say. Someone who cannot accept who you are, all the good and all the bad, that person does not love you or care about you like they say. Because they can only love a version of you. They can never love the entire plot of you. I think of it like a pie chart. That he loved 36%, but he hated the rest of it. And that's why he said we would never be together. When I tell you I was cool off homie, I didn't care if we ever spoke again after that. You hate my personality. You hate who I am. You hate my character. You hate my character traits. I don't like you either. You're a manipulator and a narcissist. And you carry that loud and proud. But you'll never, ever, ever, and I mean ever, deal with that. That's something you personally have to work on. So that's basically what happened with that situation. So that's why after that I was so cool. I was so cool. I was like, I'm ready to move on. I don't want to deal with you anymore. I'm okay. I've accepted it. I accepted it back in May. I accepted it. I just wanted to clear that up. And once we cleared that up, I said, cool, you are no longer looked at as anything to me. You're just a dude. You're just a person. And then we trauma bonded again. But it never gave romantic. On my end, at least. And this was a man who basically was like, once he traveled to a different state, we're still keeping in contact. And I guess he just loved the fact that I was there and whatever. So he put it on this, I care about you so much, and I want us to be together temporarily, but I'm not ready to be in a full relationship. I just want the aspects of it, and I want it with you and only you. He's doing that. And I said, okay. And because I knew how he felt and how much he hated my character, I never truly actually fell in love with that man again. At that point, I was just doing it for conversation. I wasn't falling for the manipulation anymore. At that point, it was just pure entertainment after that. And then when we stopped speaking, I've been cool ever since. And that's a weird way to end it, but like, basically, I called him. He showed me his true colors in full form. Basically said how nobody actually truly cares about him, so he doesn't care about anybody else. And I said, that's cool. Because I'm like, I don't know, you're just weird. You're just a weird one. That's one for the books, actually. You're very weird. You need to actually seek medical help. Maybe see a psychiatrist, maybe see a therapist. I can recommend you a great therapist. Maybe you need to go talk to someone, because I don't know what mommy issues or daddy issues you have. My bad. I shouldn't be speaking directly. I don't know what issues he has. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if he has mommy issues or daddy issues or personality disorder. I don't know what he has, but I think he needs to talk to a professional, because it's getting weird. It's getting weird, and not weird. It's not funny. Ha ha. It's funny weird. Like, he was giving funny weird. So, like I said, I didn't care if we spoke after that moment or not. I ended it peacefully, because I said, you're not going to sit here and drag and play in my head for your self-being, because all of a sudden you want to make a self-discovery and finally accept that you're manipulative and you're a narcissist, and you feel like nobody cares about you, when I kind of did. And it's like, well, F me. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. It was F you in May. Always been F you. It's always been F me as well. But I'm not the one who dragged a situation for 4 months and then told someone in February. So, yeah. So that's the end of this story time, because I no longer want to talk about it. It just brings up so much negative energy. There's a little bit more. I left out some parts because I feel like some parts should be kept secret, because it wasn't about me. It was about them. And he told me a lot about them. And I'm going to keep that to myself, because at the end of the day, like I said, they are no longer together, by the way. He told me they're no longer together. But just to let y'all know and clarify, during that May through August situation, they were no longer together. So I was not ruining nobody's relationship, I promise. So so basically, yeah. But like I said, I pray for that girl's well-being. I do. I pray that she finds someone that actually can truly love her as a person, because obviously he can only accept the fact of him loving himself, because that's the one thing and you're supposed to be in love with yourself. But he is in love with himself. Like, he thinks that he is whoever he thinks he is, but he's not. He thinks he's bigger than the program. Maybe his program, but not my baby. Baby, you were never bigger than my program. And I run a strict one. You ain't see strict. So, I'm playing, y'all. I do run a strict program, but it ain't strict, y'all. So, that's the end of this story time. This is this situationship from hell. Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I am definitely gonna be doing Vlogtober this year, so tune in for that. It's so good to see my babies. So good to see y'all again. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me your favorite parts. Tell me how you feel about the situation. Do you feel like he was a manipulator? Do you feel like he was a narcissist? Or do you feel like it's just a situation that just went bad? Because I feel like it was definitely all of the above, but it was definitely some parts that made me look at him sideways, and it made me look at, and other people made me look at him sideways. So just tell me what you thought about that. So yeah, that's the end of the story time. Love you. See you in the next one. Bye.